What's going on YouTube? Josh here checking in. Today we are talking about the supplement Citrulline Malate. Now, real short, if you've never heard of this before, citrulline itself is basically an amino acid. It's not one of the 20 amino acids that build protein and make muscles, but it has other functions in the body. Now, as far as what is this supplement supposed to do, or at least what are the claims, there's basically two claims. One, that it basically reduces your fatigability, and two, that it reduces muscle soreness. So now the question is, what does the science say? Are those claims substantiated, or is this just a bunch of BS? Now, there's really only been two studies that have actually studied this idea with regards to weight training. There was one study in 2010 and then a more recent study in 2014. Both were published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research. And I really don't want to go too far in depth into the research, but suffice it to say that in either study, they looked at only basically upper body or only lower body kind of exercise, and the goal of the studies was basically to induce fatigue. So for instance, in one of the studies, the earlier study in 2010, they essentially did a bunch of bench pressing, then a bunch of other chest exercises, then a bunch more bench pressing. And between each set, there was basically about 1 minute of rest. And what did they find? In this particular study, there was an increase for sure in the number of repetitions that the people were able to do on their bench press the second time around. Now, how much more work were they able to do? On average, it was about, one additional rep in these extra sets. Okay, wasn't in all of them, but on average, about one rep. And in that same study, they also investigated muscle soreness. And this was rated subjectively, and basically they found a significant reduction in muscle soreness. Now, in the other study, the more recent one in 2014, they basically also found that there was some slight increase in the number of repetitions that could be performed in lower body exercises. And in that particular study, the effect size was not quite as great as in the primary study, but they also changed some of things around, and obviously it was lower body. In that study, the 2014 one, they did not look explicitly at muscle soreness, so I can't comment on that. Basically, if you are training in an environment that is high fatigability, meaning you probably have relatively low rest intervals, and you're also training the same body part, in succession with the same exact, or rather very similar kind of exercises, then perhaps this could benefit you in that you might get an additional rep or so on some of your sets down the line. So that's not to say you'll see any effect on your first few sets, but maybe as you've done, maybe 2 or 3 exercises and now you're coming back and doing some more work, you might be able to get in a little bit more work. Now, how about muscle soreness? Quite frankly, with only one study, I really don't feel comfortable saying that this particular supplement is going to affect your muscle soreness. I'm not saying that the results from that study are false. I'm just saying that, whenever you see one study, especially when the results are so drastic, I'm just cautious to buy that, Let's see some other scientists replicate these results, and then maybe I'll be more apt to, say that this supplement has that effect. So in the end, probably not that beneficial for most people, despite kind of what, you might have heard in YouTube, supplement industry, etc. Now, if you decide that you feel, you might benefit from the supplement, how should you supplement with it? Essentially, you're going to use 8 grams of citrulline malate, and you're going to ingest that about 1 hour prior to your workout. Okay? Most people don't really have any, negative effects from the supplement. In one of the studies, there was, a portion of people, I think it was around 15%, that basically complained of some stomach upset. But for the most part, it should be a pretty benign supplement. Obviously, there have only been 2 studies on it, so there haven't been any long-term studies with regards to its health effects. But given that it is, a pretty basic substance, that it is an amino acid, I would be hard-pressed to be concerned that this would cause you any kind of health damage. My biggest concern would be just ensuring that if you decide to supplement with this, that you get it from a reputable producer of supplements, because your biggest concern is probably contamination, not the supplement itself. So anyway guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, be sure to give it a like. If you found it informative, be sure to give it a like. And even if you didn't like it, just give it a like. That really supports the channel, guys. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and comment below. I want to hear, do you guys use citrulline malate? Have you found any difference since you've been supplementing with it? And yeah, I'd definitely like to have this conversation below in the comments section. I'll catch you guys in the next video.